What if the greatest mystery in history wasn't a myth at all? Imagine a civilization so wealthy, so advanced, that its story has survived for more than 2,000 years. An island kingdom surrounded by endless blue seas, where towering temples and magnificent cities reflected the power of an unstoppable empire. At its heart stood an extraordinary capital, built in perfect circles of land and water, a masterpiece unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. Its walls shimmered with gold and silver, while a legendary metal called orichalcum was said to decorate its greatest buildings. Its mighty fleet ruled the seas, carrying wealth and influence across the known world. Merchants arrived from distant lands, filling the markets with rare treasures, exotic goods, and unimaginable riches. But as its wealth grew, so did its ambition, and eventually, its pride. Ancient legends tell us that the gods watched carefully, and they were not pleased. Then, in a single day and a single night, everything changed forever. The legend of Atlantis has fascinated explorers, historians, and dreamers for more than 20 centuries. Our journey begins in ancient Greece, where one philosopher preserved a story that still captivates the world today. Around 360 BC, an elderly philosopher carefully recorded an extraordinary tale that had been passed down through generations. He described a magnificent island civilization unlike any other, powerful, prosperous, and unmatched in engineering and beauty. According to the story, this mysterious kingdom lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, at the edge of the known world. Legend claimed the island was ruled by the descendants of the sea god Poseidon, whose wisdom and strength shaped a mighty kingdom. Its capital was a marvel of engineering, where elegant canals, grand bridges, and magnificent temples stood in perfect harmony. For generations, Atlantis flourished, growing richer and more powerful with every passing year. But as prosperity turned into pride, the people slowly forgot the virtues that had made them great. Then came the unthinkable. Earthquakes shook the land, towering waves crashed ashore, and the legendary kingdom disappeared beneath the sea. But what if this ancient legend was inspired by a real civilization, one that truly vanished in a catastrophic disaster? To search for answers, we leave the world of myth and journey to the sparkling waters of the Aegean Sea. There stood the volcanic island of Thera, a thriving center of trade and culture during the Bronze Age. On this island was Akrotiri, an extraordinary city whose streets echoed with the lives of skilled artisans, merchants, and sailors. Its people built multi-story homes, colorful frescoes, and advanced drainage systems centuries ahead of their time. Yet Akrotiri was only one part of an even greater civilization that dominated the surrounding seas. Just beyond the horizon lay the island of Crete, home to the remarkable Minoan civilization. Its magnificent palace at Knossos stood as a symbol of wealth, innovation, and unmatched artistic achievement. From Egypt to mainland Greece, Minoan ships carried precious goods across the Mediterranean, connecting the ancient world through trade. At the height of their power, the Minoans seemed unstoppable. But deep beneath the nearby island of Thera, nature was preparing a disaster that would change history forever. Beneath the peaceful island of Thera, an invisible force had been building for centuries, hidden deep within the earth. At first, the warnings were subtle. Small earthquakes rattled homes, frightened animals, and unsettled the people. Smoke began to rise from the mountain, darkening the sky. Few realized they were witnessing the beginning of one of history's greatest disasters. Life continued as usual. Merchants traded their goods, children played in the streets, and fishermen sailed into calm waters, unaware of what was coming. Deep below the island, molten rock surged upward, building unimaginable pressure with every passing moment. Then, without warning, the volcano exploded with a force that shook the entire Mediterranean world. A massive column of ash and fire pierced the sky, turning daylight into darkness as volcanic lightning flashed through the clouds. Within moments, buildings vanished beneath falling ash. Streets that had once echoed with life fell silent forever. The explosion was so powerful that its sound may have echoed across distant kingdoms hundreds of miles away. Then came the final collapse. The heart of the island gave way, and the sea rushed inward, creating the vast caldera that still exists today. The collapse unleashed towering tsunamis that raced across the Aegean Sea with unstoppable force. Gigantic waves slammed into coastal towns and harbors, smashing ships, destroying ports, and sweeping away everything in their path. The mighty Minoan fleet, once the ruler of the Mediterranean, was shattered in a matter of hours. Volcanic ash settled across the land, poisoning fields, damaging crops, and bringing years of hardship to the survivors. Trade routes that had connected distant civilizations suddenly fell silent, leaving an entire economy on the brink of collapse. Without its powerful navy and thriving trade, the once great Minoan kingdom grew weaker with each passing year. Seeing an opportunity, rival kingdoms expanded their influence, filling the vacuum left by the fading sea power. Within only a few generations, the magnificent palaces of the Minoans stood abandoned, their glory slowly fading into memory. Over centuries, volcanic ash and the passage of time buried this remarkable civilization, hiding its secrets beneath the earth. As memories faded and stories passed from one generation to the next, history slowly transformed into legend, and perhaps the legend of Atlantis was born. For thousands of years, the ruins of this remarkable civilization remained hidden beneath layers of volcanic ash, waiting to be discovered. Then, modern archaeologists began uncovering something extraordinary, an ancient city frozen in time. As the dust was carefully brushed away, streets, homes, and workshops emerged almost exactly as they had been thousands of years earlier. Beautiful frescoes, sophisticated buildings, and advanced engineering revealed a civilization far ahead of its time. Everything pointed to one undeniable truth. The Minoans were among the most advanced societies of the Bronze Age. The more historians studied these discoveries, the more striking the similarities to the ancient legend became. Both civilizations ruled the sea. Both grew wealthy through trade. Both seemed nearly invincible. And both were forever changed by an overwhelming natural catastrophe that reshaped the ancient world. Could centuries of storytelling have transformed a real disaster into one of history's greatest legends? As stories passed from one generation to another, facts slowly blended with imagination, creating myths that survived long after the people themselves were gone. Ancient traditions tell of Egyptian priests preserving stories of a powerful island civilization that disappeared in a devastating catastrophe long before their own time. Over generations, the remarkable tale traveled across cultures, carried by scholars, travelers, and storytellers until it finally reached the Greek world. An elderly Greek philosopher carefully recorded the ancient tradition, ensuring that the mystery of Atlantis would survive for more than 2,000 years. Whether intended as history, philosophy, or moral teaching, the legend captured the imagination of generations that followed. For centuries, explorers searched oceans, islands, and forgotten coastlines, convinced that Atlantis was waiting to be found beneath the waves. Yet today, many archaeologists believe the greatest clue may not lie in the Atlantic Ocean at all, but among the volcanic islands of the Aegean Sea. Every excavation uncovers another piece of the puzzle. Every discovery brings us one step closer to understanding what truly happened over 3,000 years ago. Even now, scientists continue studying ancient ruins, volcanic ash, and submerged landscapes, hoping the next discovery may finally answer one of history's oldest mysteries. Perhaps Atlantis was never a single city waiting beneath the ocean. Perhaps it was the memory of a real civilization, transformed through centuries of storytelling until history became legend. The rise and fall of the Minoans reminds us that no civilization, no matter how wealthy or powerful, is ever beyond the reach of nature. Earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis have shaped human history for thousands of years, changing the destiny of kingdoms in a single moment. Whether Atlantis truly existed or not, its story continues to inspire archaeologists, historians, writers, and dreamers around the world. Maybe that is why the legend has never disappeared. It speaks to something timeless, the hope that mysteries can still be solved, and that history still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Today, visitors stand on the cliffs of Santorini, gazing across the brilliant blue waters of the Aegean Sea. Beneath that peaceful landscape lies the scar of one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in human history, a reminder that beneath beauty can lie unimaginable power. Perhaps the real Atlantis was never meant to be found as a glittering city beneath the waves. Perhaps its true legacy is the lesson it leaves behind, that even the greatest civilizations can vanish, while their stories live on forever. And maybe, somewhere between myth and history, between philosophy and archaeology, the truth still waits to be discovered. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to explore more lost civilizations, forgotten kingdoms, and incredible discoveries from the ancient world, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next adventure. Your support helps us continue bringing the stories of the ancient world back to life. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and remember, history still has many secrets waiting to be revealed.